We were the first company to become a Credeq company on the 1st of July in the Credeq group. And there were a massive amount of legal and regulatory work to be done by our team to put us in a position to achieve that 1st of July deadline. And I'm very proud of the team and how they were able to do that and put us in a position to start on the 1st of July. I think what we underestimated is the mind shift that needed to happen sort of post that 1st of July date. So, and as an example, the relationship between us, the UMA or Credeq Africa, and Lombard needed a complete readjustment. And the way we thought about ourselves as an independent company of Lombard and the way Lombard thought of us as independent. And there were things like risk appetite, how do we approve new products, how do we do marketing together or separately. All of those things needed a significant rethink and a mind shift. There were more basic things and more practical things like how do we share office space, how do we book meeting rooms, how do we do data security and things like that, which again caused lots of frustration and a significant amount of thinking and a mind shift on both parties. I think both companies have grown and developed that quite a bit. And we are in a much better position now than what we were a year ago. I think also the mind shift except between Lombard and Credeq, a mind shift just within Credeq, how to think about ourselves differently, also needed a significant rethink and adjustment. So first we became our own legal entity. We needed to manage our own cash flow. We needed to do our own marketing. So we became a separate legal entity, but we were also a part of a bigger global Credeq group. That also needed a bit of a rethink for us. How do we fit into a global group where we share the same name, same values and same brand globally, and how do we contribute to that? So where in the past we were a guarantee business in South Africa, we operated fairly independently. Now we must become a lot more conscious of how do we participate in a group. I think the two big learnings or takeaways for me was communication. How do we communicate effectively to staff? And we've got quite a broad range of staff, so you need to communicate at different levels and different times. And people adopt or listen or hear different messages at different times. And people adopt to change at different speeds as well. For me, it's a massive learning that you need to communicate that clearly and often and at different forums, and then also check in with people that they actually heard what they took on the message that we were communicating. That is one of the learnings. The second one for me is that for me it was very interesting to go to clients and beneficiaries of Lombard Guarantee or now Credeq, and to realize that people our clients aren't that bothered whether they deal with a Credeq or a Lombard person. They're more worried about the individual that they deal with. So which for me was very encouraging, because that is the kind of relationships we would like our underwriters to have, so that they build strong relationships with clients and beneficiaries that regardless of who the name on their business card is, they like to deal with our people. And I think that's what is putting us in such a good position in the South African market, is that our underwriters have got such strong relationships with their clients. Jim Collins, the guy who wrote the book From Good to Great, spoke about good companies are companies that often or drastically can change their strategies or their structure, but they protect their values a lot, and that's what making them great companies. And I think that is what we have gone through. We made a significant change to the way we operate, and a different strategy, but we fiercely protected the values. And our values as Credeq is different from the Lombard values, but it's not completely different. We have maintained our DNA that we've always had. And the Credeq values is very similar and aligned to what Lombard has always been. I recently at our management team meeting or Manco meeting spoke to our managers about in the 1940s, they tried to fly an aircraft through the sound barrier. And they thought it's impossible to do because They didn't really see the sound barrier as a goal or as a objective to get through. They thought it's physically impossible to get through a sound barrier because there was so much turbulence that they thought the plane is going to break apart and that it's impossible to get through that. They, with lots of the engineers at the time, they were able to get through it. Yeah, so that analogy feels a bit to me like where Credeq is at the moment. So we had a big Credeq group strat in Malaga, and I think I came back quite excited from that because it was quite a well-defined vision of what the Credeq group will become. So that for me is like a glimpse of what it can be beyond the sound barrier or beyond this physical barrier that we need to get through. And I feel that's about 2 or 3 years away for us. And in the interim, between now and 3 years' time, it could be quite a turbulent phase. But that turbulence for me is represented by the process of getting our systems improved, developing our systems, developing or moving people into different places, getting the right people in the right positions, reorganizing our business, growing our brand. And I think once all of this turbulent phase is sorted out, we will break through that barrier and it will be a lot smoother ride. So we've gone through a strategic review and process earlier this year, which followed the Malaga, the Credeq Group process. And we're not looking over the next 2 or 3 years to rewrite that playbook completely. So our focus on the next few years will be more on execution and executing our strategy well. And our strategy consists of 4 main, or say 5 areas, 5 pillars. And the first is to develop a world-class risk management platform, so our IT system. The second is to build and develop a brand that will open doors for us across Africa and make us the go-to credit and surety provider in Africa. But not only that, across the world as we collaborate with our Credeq offices around the world. And then thirdly is to maintain our entrepreneurial spirit and allow underwriters to look for new products, new geographies, and develop our business, not just in South Africa, but north of the border as well. And then fourthly is we will always remain a people business, and people will invest in people, we'll develop our people, and it will always be a sort of a foundation of the business that we want. And we will, in that process as well, we protect the way we do things at Credeq, and it will be similar to Lombard, how Lombard have always done it in the past. And it is, I think there's strategies can change, but the way we do things, we would like to keep that the same and empower our people through that.